it's possible, and this is one example of possibility, that Vincenzo Nardone and no one in his family were home that day. So the enumerator went to a neighbor. So it might be the neighbor's helping me now, but maybe the neighbor hurt me in the beginning. They went to a neighbor and said, I'm not coming back. Who lives next door? I think his name is Robert Narduli. My kids play with his kids. My kids play with his kids. They're Alexander and Michael. I know the kids, but I think they're like Robert and Julia, but they're really Vincenzo and Giuseppe. It's as simple as that. I don't know how we got the street name wrong. Couple of things. I know that Dominic Cataldo lived at 16 shirtless, and that I didn't. I found Dominic, and he's at 16 Schaefer. There is no Schaefer in Revere. So the house number, luckily, is correct. So I know that Vincent Nardone lives at 20. So here's Dominic Cataldo at 16. So the first thing I'm going to say is street name is wrong, house number is right, 20 is the right house number. Now I'm also looking at the children, Alexander and Michael. The ages match exactly Alexander and Michael's ages. There is a third child here that's listed as Jenny. The age matches a son named John. All of the other information, on the page just gives it away, where they're from, how long they've been here, what he does for a living. So there was enough information to say, I've got enough points of match to say, this is real, and I know how bad it is. This is my worst example that I've ever seen. Okay. Now again, like I showed you on Google, if you've got the international version of Ancestry, you can log into their international sites and get a very, log into their German site, log into their Italian site. You're going to get a very Italian or German-centric view of records. It may even give you a different set of records. So it's worth, you've got some international stuff, it's worth looking at. Hopefully you can translate, because they don't. Hopefully you can translate what they give you. FamilySearch, wonderful site. If you aren't using it, you should be. If you are using it and you're not signed up as a member, sign up, because it gives you more records. Now, the search tool that they give you right now is only about a year old. It worked out of a beta pilot program. There was a previous site with an older format of search, but it's still there. Use them both, because not everything has been converted from the old search to the new search. So you've got to look at both. So let me jump out there. I'm going to use my Vincenzo Nardone example here. Search. There it goes. And it returns, not bad, 677 records. Not mine, not mine, not mine. It might be mine. Again, you've got a lot of different tools to narrow down what you're looking for. You can add birth information, marriage information, death, residence. I like to use spouse and parents. In this case, I'm just going to add a spouse. I'm going to say Josephine. And one, 1930, looks good. It's got Josephine, it's got Vincent with sons Alexander and John. This is my record here. Now, I want to know what her maiden name is here. Now, I'm seeing some amount of death and birth records, but I want to narrow that even closer. I want to get rid of things that aren't mine at all. So I'm going to take out the first name. I'm going to leave the last name. I'm not going to use a spouse. I'm going to use the parents, Vincent, and it will look for Vincenzo and Josephine, and it will automatically look for Giuseppa. Spell it right, Mike. Probably would find it anyway. Now it's just giving me, now it's giving me a bunch of things. It's giving me births, census. I'm going to narrow it again. I'm going to look at the collection, which I just give me birth, marriage, death. And here we are. So if I look in the last column, the first column, all the Nardone births and deaths and marriages with parents of Vincent and Josephine. So I'm going to find her maiden name. Her last name in the first record is Veneer. Second one is Ayanyet. I can't even pronounce that one. But these are all my records. Third one's Anis. The fourth one is Magnus. Then we get down to some consistency. Genera, Genera, Guerra, Nera, Guerra, Guerra, Genera, Genera. I'm much closer to determining what her maiden name is. So I would use that kind of a search where I leave the first name blank and fill in parents to get what I'm looking for. Okay. What not to do. Whenever you're looking at Ancestry, FamilySearch, typically the first click is a text version of the record. Don't stop there. Don't stop at the text. Look at the image. There's so much more on the image that they didn't put in the search record, in the text record, so much more there that they never indexed. So many clues that you'll be able to use for your next search. If you're looking at a census record, you've got an occupation, you've got whether or not they owned that house or they rented it. You've got that street address, which would be so handy when looking from census to census. Look, not only that, look at that image, but look on the image before it. Look on the image after it. There's more information out there. If it's a census record and you're looking before and after, you might find other family groups. I was looking at a set of naturalization records. It gave me the first record. It doesn't tell you that there's a lot more pages. If you just click next image, I've got 2, 3, 4 more records full of naturalization information. Many times, if you're looking at some of the old birth, marriage, death registers, it's 2 pages, a 2-page register. Your search result is only going to give you the first page. And the text is only going to give you the text on that first page. Hit next, boom. You've got the second half of the record on the next. And it's got its own index. There's a lot of this that goes on. If you're looking at, one of my favorites is if you're in Ancestry and you find a passport record, go to the next page. There's a picture. Grab that picture. You know, the wonderful thing about Ancestry or FamilySearch is there's a button on each of those image pages that says save. Save those images. They want you to. As I said, don't stop with the image you're on. Go to the next one. Go to the preceding. There's bound to be more information. Now, these are some of the top 3. So I said Google, Ancestry, FamilySearch. There's a lot more digital information out there. Almost every state is pushing their version of vital records. Countries too. So what I'll do is I'll go to Google and I'll put state name, Tilde records, Tilde online, and I'm going to find, hopefully, that state's version of a search engine. If we look here, Massachusetts Archives, all of their records, okay, let me back up, not all of their records, a lot of their records from 1841 to 1910. Again, it gives you the ability to do some great searches here. So what I'll do is if I'm working in Massachusetts and I don't know exactly when someone died, I know a range. I know there they are on the 1870 census, missing on the 1880 census. I'm going to put in not a full last name, just a piece of their last name, because it's smart enough to say that it's somewhere in there. I don't want to over-constrain because sometimes it takes it too literally. So I'll only put a piece of the last name, first name. I'll leave out location, because I can't be certain that they're still living where they were in 1870. I'll set the start and end years, and then I'll get a result. Now, if the result is too big, I might start narrowing it down again. So start big, narrow down. Once you get a range, and let's just see what I'm getting there. Okay. I'm having a brain damage moment here. I can't think of any examples. So the thing is, once you get the name, the town, the date of death, take that information, go right back to FamilySearch, plug it in exactly. FamilySearch loves when you put in exactly what was on the record. It churns it so much faster. I could be on FamilySearch and I'll put in ranges of information, but not get what I'm looking for. Go back and I put in exactly what I'm looking for. Once I know it, boom, pops to the top. So in my genealogy work, I'm always looking for a different state. I've worked with Massachusetts stuff. Did a lot of work with Missouri. Missouri's got a great site for finding birth and death records. Illinois, again, good stuff. And all I did was Illinois vital records online, and you can see that first thing that comes up is www.sosstate.il.us. Here's where you want to be careful again. I'm looking for sites that are state-run, government-run, not vitalrec.com, which through experience, I've clicked on it and found that it's just somebody that wants you to pay money so that they can then point you to the other one. So again, careful what you click on. If you're looking for vital records, real vital records, essentially free vital records, look for the ones with the governmental links. But I've been able to find, almost every place I look, I've been able to find Nova Scotia, New Jersey, New York City, Illinois, Missouri. I'm sure I have a longer list. Okay? Everything in Vermont? Excellent. And it goes both ways. I mean, there's a lot of states that want to get their stuff online. There's a lot of states that are worried about privacy and don't want to put their stuff online. So only time is going to tell. Okay, what not to do? Don't limit yourself to one source. Now, I've got this collection of sources from Ancestry to Nova Scotia Online. Look at them all. The reason for that is they may all have a different transcription. FamilySearch and Ancestry both have the census. Two different transcriptions, two different sets of results when you search.